Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Abundantly Aware. I so appreciate you spending your time here. All right, so even though I got my hair cut last week, she definitely cut my bangs too long, so they're still in my face, which is great. Love that for me. I swear I said cut it here, not in my eyes, but they're in my eyes. Although I do like this, anyways, it's fine. I digress. I'm not going to continue further. Today's episode is going to be a little bit heavy. I think that's why I start rambling in the beginning, because it's a little bit heavy for me, vulnerable for me, but I felt necessary to share in this space because after a year and a half of being 100% self-employed, I'm getting a job. Dun dun. It feels really freeing, but also super weird to say that, because I feel like entrepreneurship is held on a pedestal. It's like the end all be all of financial worry, of freedom. It is freedom, they say. And that a job won't allow you to get ahead in that sense, and it won't allow you the freedom. But I really do think that for me, it is the solution to how I'm feeling. Because I lost my soul cat, Oliver, in the end of July of last year, which ended up not only costing me a piece of my heart, but 5 figures that I didn't have. Still on the fence about whether I'm going to ever get pet insurance if I ever do get another pet. I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm still not ready. It's been a year and I'm still not ready. But I do want to share the positive end of that, and that is that I'm beyond grateful that I had the time to be able to spend his last couple months in and out of hospitals with him, and specifically his final day. And I also know, and I'm aware, that a regular job may not have given me that option. I may not have been able to spend that time with him and take that time away from work without being fired. But I'm still left in a very sticky situation. Yeah. I don't think I would be having this conversation with you had that not happened last year. That's all I have to say. So this April, I decided that I wanted to close a part of my business. So I was running 2 businesses. One was a online operations manager for small businesses. And one is, of course, Abundantly Aware. And the operations business was bringing in the majority of my income. Let's be honest here. But I was pushing myself so hard to do the work. And if you have ADHD or you know anything about this, like, it was like, you'll know the pushing that I'm talking about. It's not your regular, just sit down and do it. It's like you have to smack yourself in the face and you have to dance around and jump around the room and try to set timers and trick yourself into sitting down and just doing the work already, like screaming at yourself to just do the work. That's the kind of pushing. It's not your regular pushing, okay? When I don't want to do a task, it is so hard for me to do said task, especially when I work for myself, because I find operations work very unappealing. It's boring, and I have literally zero desire to organize a client's workflow in the back. Like, I have zero desire. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I went into this space because I do have a like for half of it. I have a like for strategizing possible techniques for what you're going to do going forward in your business, sitting down for an hour or 2 in a month and talking about the possibilities that you can go forward. I just don't like doing the actual work that it takes. And I was doing it in corporate. And that's why I thought that I could do it in real life. I have like 8+ years of admin sort of experience, admin customer service experience. And so that's why I thought I needed to go forward with it, but it's just not really meant for me. That type of 9 to 5 is really not meant for me. And of course, deciding to close your business comes with a lot of questions, a lot of hurdles, a lot of things that you have to think about going forward. But, shutting that down did allow me to become crystal clear with the visions that I have for Abundantly Aware. And that's primarily content, because this podcast is everything to me. And even when I do have to push myself, because I do, to do like the minimal editing that I have to do, because I do have to edit, I still love it. I still love the podcast. And I'm still able to push myself to do that because I just go for a walk and I come home and I can usually just go, okay, Katie, it's probably going to take you an hour tops. Because like I said, I do very minimal editing, and then you'll be able to get on your way. And I also want to sit down at 11 p.m. on a Thursday night and write an episode. It's fun for me. I just sit in bed, prop myself up, and type away. And it's so easy because I know that procrastination is a part of me, and I'm not going to shame myself out of it. And instead, I'm deciding that I'm going to choose to work with it and allow myself to complete things close to their due date. And that is okay. And that's just a part of my life. That doesn't mean that I don't like the podcast. It doesn't mean that I don't like doing what I'm doing right now. And with this podcast, I do want to incorporate some ways for us to work together, like the course that I am currently working on and the journals that I have in my brain. Not only those, but also online workshops that I've done in the past. I want to do them again. And even eventually in the future, I want to do some in-person workshops. So if you live in Toronto, listen up and stay tuned. And that's what I want to do with this business. Like, I am so crystal clear. I know exactly what it is, but I know that it's going to take me some time. It's going to take me a lot of time. It could take me a year. It could take me 2 years. Maybe I even blow up with this episode, but maybe I don't. And I want to continue to enjoy the process of creating these podcast episodes instead of putting so much pressure on them succeeding or me blowing up. Because I know that is mostly luck, let's be honest. And I want to continue learning how to create thumbnails because those are so fun. And title videos and tell stories. And I don't want to rush it and burn out in the process, because if you have ADHD like I do, I know that we're much more susceptible to burning out. It's sort of like a cycle that we go through, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of that circle and that cycle. And I found that I have been sort of going within those ebbs and flows recently, within the last couple of weeks, months. I'm in that kind of flow, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. So that brought me to search about what I want to do on the pages of my journal, of course, like even in April. I've been journaling about this certain issue for a very long time, since probably March, to be honest. But I wanted to say that if you're in a similar situation, maybe you're a small business owner and you don't know what to do next. Maybe you're just like, I need to make more money, but the business isn't working and I don't want to stress out about it. So maybe I have to get a job, or maybe I can let it slide, or I don't know. I'm confused. I would definitely suggest you writing this in your journal, or alternatively, you can also voice note, because some of us are auditory processors. I think I am a little bit, in some ways, an auditory processor. And so if you need to grab your voice note, I still consider that journaling. And journal through your feelings and listen to yourself and only yourself. Because I think that this decision needs to be made for you first and foremost. Of course, you can have a conversation with your friends, your spouse, all of that kind of stuff. But ultimately, the decision is yours. Even if your spouse says, hey, no, I can handle it, no big deal. You still made the decision, and you should still continue forward with that decision that you're making for yourself, because it's huge. And I don't think it affects all pieces of you. It affects your mental health, but also your physical health. It affects it all. And to be honest with you, never in the first year and a half did I ever think that I would be okay with going back and getting a job again. When I told my partner, he was like, oh, I never thought that was going to happen again. And I was like, yep, I'm doing it. I've decided it's going to happen. It needs to be done specifically for my mental health. I left my last job because of my mental health. I'm choosing a new job because of my mental health. It's okay. We're allowed to make different choices, and we're allowed to ebb and flow with things, and we're allowed to go back. I don't think that it's an end all be all. I don't think entrepreneurship or growing a small business is the end all be all. So I've decided that I want to get a job. Now I realize I need to be out of the house. I cannot work inside this house. And I've been searching online for jobs that I might like. And I know that corporate also is not an option, even if I'm in the office, because 8 hours behind a desk, no, absolutely not. Then going for break for what, an hour, 30 minutes, 2:15s, whatever the it is. I don't want to do it. It's not an option. It's not going to happen. I won't do it. It dimmed my light far too much, and I wasn't able to fully create and be in my creative spirit because it dimmed me so much. And like, don't get me wrong, my last job was actually kind of amazing. I worked from home, so for some people that would be amazing. I wasn't really highly monitored. I mean, in some ways, it felt like that in some pieces of it, but not hugely. We went into the office 1 to 4 times a month. A month. It was far away-ish, but you could go into the office for like a half day. You didn't necessarily need to go in the whole day sometimes. So that was nice. And actually, in the beginning, it was like that. And then it decided to not be. But one of the other bonuses, not only like contributions to retirement and all of that, and health insurance, but if I needed to go into an appointment at like 3 p.m., I could just take off the rest of the day and then make it up the rest of the day. So I could just start work at 8 instead of 9, 2 days a week. And then I'd make it up. No big deal. And for someone else, that's a dream job. That's their dream. But that is my other nightmare. That's my nightmare. That's my nightmare. Because my home is my creative space, and my desk that you don't see because it's in front of me, but my desk is where I write podcasts and where my dreams are realized and created. And working for corporate, like I said, kills me, takes me away, dims my light, takes that all away from me. So then I got to thinking, in another life, I went to school for animal care and I worked at a vet hospital. And I only left that industry because the job where I was working, they had to lay us off because they had an accident in the clinic that caused the clinic to close down. I think that happened in either January or February of that year, and they didn't reopen until June. After the first 2 months, I was like, okay, well, I need to get a job because EI, unemployment insurance, only lasts for so long, right? So I was like, I guess I need to find a job. And in March, I think it was March. It was March because it was just after my birthday. Like, a job basically landed in my lap, and it was at a corporate business, and it was working admin, customer service. And I decided to walk that path instead of, walking the other ones that I had decided to walk. I even went to school for business. That didn't turn out so well. But yeah, like, I realize now looking back, when I had originally gotten that job, when I had originally worked in the clinic, I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need to do, where I need to be, and how I need to work. And what's actually so wild is both my parents technically have blue-collar jobs because my mom is a nurse and my dad works for a huge electrical, phone, internet, Bell Canada. He works for Bell Canada. It's a massive company in Canada. Out on the road. He hates being in the office. He hates being in the call center. He wants to be out on the road. So it kind of tracks. For me wanting to be in an environment where, I'm working with people, I'm working with animals, being on your feet all the time. And there's always something to do, even if there isn't something to do. Fill your time so that the time goes by faster. And, I did, after all, like, working in a similar job. I got promoted in like 4 months of working customer service, front end as a cashier at a grocery store. Like, within the first 4 months, I got promoted to supervisor. And I look back and I thought for some reason I had worked there for like 2 years. And I looked at my resume and I was like, oh, no, I only worked there for a year, which is wild to me. A year and like 2 months. And I only left that job because I finished my animal care certificate and I got a job. I found a job in about a month at a clinic. So after graduation, I think I graduated it was a weird one. It was like February to August with no breaks. It's like 8 months straight. And I graduated in August and I got that job in September. Wild stuff. So all this to say, I'm going back into the animal care field. I'm not working a traditional 9 to 5, but I think people would still consider this a 9 to 5. or, a T4 job. We don't even call them that. We just call them jobs. And I know that it might be harder for me to find this than it was in the past. Like back in the day, it would probably take me about a month of actually truly applying to find a job in almost all circumstances for me. But I also know that I'm going to be far happier to be creative and bring my amazing content and offers when I'm financially supported. And I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready to go forward. I've done a few searches recently because I'm still updating my resume because I have like 3 different resumes and they're all over the place. So I need to go back in there and finagle and move some stuff around. But I've done some research and I've done some searches, and there are loads available, especially in such a big city like Toronto. It's huge here, and I think in my hour radius of like where I want to travel to, there's so much available to me. So I'm really not worried. I'm going to keep you updated here in this space in either 3 months or when I sign a job offer. I'll let you know how things went. It's not going to be the full story because that's not really why we're here on this podcast, but I wanted to just show you the trajectory of how I used journaling to my benefit to decide and make this decision. It was not made lightly by any means whatsoever, not even ending the other past business that I was running. And yeah, I really, truly just wanted to share this here because so many people online, I feel like, are shouting things like, quit your job. I hate it. I hate seeing it. Don't quit your job. Or just go full time in your business and you'll be fine. And, sure, that might be perfect for some people. But for me, I need something stable to keep me grounded so that my creativity can fly into the trees. Like, I need space, and I think this is the way to get there. And so if you feel the same way, if you see these, just quit your job, don't do it. Don't do it. Telling you, don't do it. Unless you have 6 months to a year of an emergency fund saved up. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially for circumstances like that. Like mine, should I say. But if you're a small business as well, and it's not cutting it, I'm going to include some prompts here, and I'm going to leave them in the description as well, of like, what can I do to feel safe right now in my business? Do I need to get a job? Maybe I need to get more clients if you're a service-based business. Maybe I need to create more products. Maybe I need to see how I can be seen more. Maybe I need to pay for ads. You never know. And maybe a question could be asked, can I update my resume this week to see how looking for a job might make me feel? Because I know that like I've done it in the past where I've wanted to get a job, but not really. And then I've started the process of doing my resume. And then I've thought, absolutely not. It's not going to happen. No. So maybe ask yourself that question. Maybe take that action. Or maybe you can ask yourself, like, is this something that I need to do? Or is my brain telling me I need to do it? Like, is this actually, if you ran the numbers, if you wrote them all down on a piece of paper and journaled that through, is it something that you actually need? Or are you panicking? Or maybe you're deciding that you don't need it, but if you actually looked at the numbers, you would realize that you did. So I'll include a more succinct questions down in the description and in the description of the episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening. And I just ask you if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, subscribing to YouTube, Spotify, or wherever it is that you listen to your podcast episodes. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And share this with a small business friend, or share this with someone who works a full-time job already and is thinking about starting something on their own and they're not sure if they want to quit their job. Don't do it. Don't do it. I would appreciate the share though, of course. And until next time, let's become abundantly aware together. Bye.